Come on, there's got to be some point in your fitness journey that you believed or thought something that you do not any longer believe. Like,
Okay, yes. I used to really love fucking burpees. Now I think they're fucking stupid. Let's go there.
Yes.
So I used to take classes that had a lot of burpees, right? I used to love them until I taught classes that had burpees. And I noticed that people just don't have the fucking range of motion. Like someone that's 70 that does not have any like hip mobility or like their lower back or they have shoulder shit should not be doing burpees. Most people cannot get the right form is really what it is. And they're really like, why do them? Why? Like, I don't know. I think that's the number one thing that's changed with me. And even I don't really do them anymore because when I do them, my lower back ends up being fucked and I can do them correctly. So yeah.
What did you see was like the most common issue with people doing burpees that you would say is prohibitive? Was it like are they not? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, first off, like a lot of people have a hard time doing push-ups, right?
Mm-hmm. That was probably the most common I would see is people would do like they do like this 2-inch push-up where they just go like they like shrug their shoulders and then go back up and they're like, there, I did my burpee, and I'm like,
and then their feet can't come up. Like it's like they go into the thing, the whatever plank you want to call it maybe, and then when they try to bring their feet back up to come to standing, it's like they can't, the mobility like to get their feet close is just not happening. So they do like a half-assed burpee with their back hunched.
Mm-hmm. So when I would do burpees in like group training classes or whatever, it was like, I think one of the things that I would see very often is people like when you do a burpee, right? Like the first part of a burpee is supposed to be a squat, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like we're already running into problems where like most people don't actually squat deep enough. Like they'll basically just like bend, instead of squatting, will basically just like bend over. Like that's the beginning of their burpee, right?
Right.
And then instead of like, I would coach like a modification for people who are maybe older or a little heavier and don't have the ability to do like, squat and then jump back. I'd be like, okay, just take like a step back instead of jumping.
Yeah.
Right?
Walk it out.
Right. And then also the modification of like, okay, we're going to have you do like a kneeling push-up instead of a regular push-up or whatever modification you need to do. I think the whole point of it is like, it's supposed to be high intensity. So when you're taking that out of it, I mean, you might as well just do the thing separately, right? Squat and a push-up, because by that point you're basically doing that anyway. So what is actually the point? Unless you're trying to dodge bullets, you're not in the military. Most, that's what I see what you're saying. So you see a burpee more as like an exercise that someone who already has a really high level of fitness might do in like a cardio workout.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people in CrossFit do it because they're used to like moving and that, like that. That's why they're there. So, they do those WODs and that's, I wasn't teaching a CrossFit class.
But most people who are like beginners, they just don't have they don't squat deep enough. They don't do push-ups properly. They're better off just kind of like chunking them out into like different movements. Like,
they'll get more out of it.
Yeah, like I've been doing a lot of Olympic weightlifting lately, and like I've been doing snatches and clean and jerks. Like a snatch and a clean and jerk are both like pretty complex exercises that require like a series of moves in order to do them properly. Like a clean and jerk is like you basically have to do a deadlift, and then you kind of have to do like a shrug into this like weird dropping thing, right? And you drop into like a full front squat, and then you squat that weight up, and then you have to set it in the right position on your shoulders, and then you got to jerk it overhead, right? Doing like a split jerk and dropping underneath it simultaneously. And like all of these exercises are like fairly complex exercises. If you break it down, it's like you're doing like 3 or 4 different movement patterns, right?
You froze for literally like 30 seconds.
Oh geez. All right, am I good now?
You're good now, and I couldn't hear anything you just said. So
I guess what I was getting at was a clean and jerk is like a multiple movement exercise. It's like a complex movement pattern. It's several movement patterns kind of combined together. And like when I teach a clean and jerk, if I would teach a clean and jerk to someone, like I almost never, unless I have like an hour to like sit down with the client and like break down each movement like slowly. And even then most people don't have the patience, and they're like, I just want to do like a workout, right? Few people have the patience unless they are already like predisposed to like, I want to start learning Olympic weightlifting. I just think burpee is it's probably not quite as complex as like a clean and jerk, but it's multiple points where it's like we can kind of like, you can get a lot more out of just doing a squat well, doing a push-up well, doing a whatever well, versus like putting it all together into a sloppy executed burpee, versus like, you know, in CrossFit sometimes they'll have people do like clean and jerks, but it's really like a really shitty clean and jerk.
Yeah.
And plus it's hard to progressively overload a burpee, to be honest, because if you get, first of all, most people are going to be able to do more body weight squats than they are push-ups, right? Mm-hmm. And like, you're supposed to do a push-up with like every squat essentially on a burpee, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's going to be the limiting factor. So why not just like, you know, separate, if you can do like 20 body weight squats, do the 20 body weight squats, then you can do like 10 push-ups, do the 10 push-ups separately. They're probably going to be higher quality, they're probably going to look better, and you're probably going to be able to progressively overload both of them more effectively.
Dan John has a, what is it called? Oh my gosh, he has a move that's basically is like, don't do burpees, but do this. It's like 15 kettlebell squats. And then it's like, or no, kettlebell swings, sorry, 15 kettlebell swings, 5 squats and 5 push-ups. And each time you do the 15, each round you do 15 swings, but then you do 4 squats and 4 push-ups. God, I forgot the name of it, but it's because it's like, do this instead of a fucking burpee. Oh my God, now I have to look it up. Dan John.
Is it called the Dan John?
No.
Is Dan John the guy who has like that kettlebell program where it's like one exercise?
Yes.
That's him.
Yes.
Okay, because
the humane burpee, he calls it, the humane burpee. Dan John. So it comes out to total of 75 swings, 15 goblet squats, and 15 push-ups by the end. He's like, you know, do that instead. So each round you're doing 15 swings, and then you just go down 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, kind of like a descending ladder.
That's not going to even take that long. That would take what, like 10 minutes to do that, maybe?
No, I actually love doing it. If I'm short on time and I just want to just sweat for a minute, I love it.
I created my own paradigm. I call it Jonny reps. And it's like, you keep doing like light sets with 20-second rests between them for 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, do it with literally any exercise. Like, I actually started doing it because I wanted to see how many pull-ups I could do in 5 minutes. And I found like the best way to do it was to chunk it out into like sets that are like probably stopping at like an RPE of like 7 to 8, where I leave like 2 reps in the tank on each set, and then resting for 20 seconds and just repeating. And that was kind of like the paradigm that got me like the most total reps in 5 minutes. So I kind of was like, if you want to have an efficient workout where you can get essentially the most quality reps in the shortest period of time, you should do Jonny reps.
I like that.
And I should really like market this more, because I don't really I usually only put this, I seldom talk about Jonny reps.